Our story started in Chicago, dangerous city, but beautiful in its way. We grew up in the hopes of a life full of joy and happiness, but it seems like some evil force followed us and attacked us at every chance it got, filling our childhoods with drama, stealing any innocence it could until we were broken, full of darkness, lost in a world full of people with such cruel intentions towards us, with a smile on their face. Even though we felt like there was no end, no light at the end of the tunnel, we still knew that there was joy and happiness out there somewhere for us.
I was stolen away, taken across the world, isolated and alone, trying to find myself in others, helping and caring for others that didn't even see me as an equal.
I stayed in Chicago, looking for the person I saw in the mirror each day, surrounded by people that stolen anything they can from me. I was a ghost to everybody until someone needed something from me. Treated like an option and not a blessing, we still kept our light bright and fought to reach for what we thought was the answer, but still attacked, brought lower, and brought closer to death. But even with all the fake surrounding us, we knew there was a real one out there waiting for us. And then it happened. A flame was ignited. Flooded with darkness, we found a light, an angel, an equal, our twin. We instantly connected, and with love and loyalty, we built each other up. We helped each other find ourselves. We helped each other find the power within us. We learned new lifestyles together. We helped each other drop the things and people holding us back from greatness. We started a new path in life. Even though it could be beautiful, there are still attacks and mistakes. But together we stand strong. We overcome all, breaking generational curses, clearing the way for our children, and continue to build our family and kingdom, fighting towards our happy ending. We lost a lot to gain double, but through pain we are strengthened.
While in the drought, one of my sales about I'm standing out. When it's beef, I'm never standing down. Next door to Jamalo, while in St. John Apartments. Couldn't afford the rent, we moved with grandma more like an orphanage. The neighborhood ain't like I said, we came from New Orleans. Had some fights, I slung some iron in Baton Rouge, you recall it. Lee Lucas doing life, he left when I was 11. Had a job I did not like and started narcotic selling. I do for me, I feed myself, a cool not willing to help me. We either die, go to jail, so what the fuck could you tell me? Fully loaded Mac 11 when this pressure get applied. Got a brand new Glock 9 and I keep it by my side. Took the side of that little boy down out of hatred, no question. Draw your sword, get met with brute force, no second guessing. Up there. Watch your mouth, no dissing me. You know we all saw it. You say I'm fake, that's your opinion, that's just y'all story. Just face the fact I was y'all blessing, but y'all ignored it. Your quest for fame had you distorted, not accepting sorry. I'm really that the streets vouch, the people vouch, the jailer vouch, all the niggas in the feds vouch. We held it down while in the drought, one of my sales vouch. I'm standing out, when it's beef, I'm never standing down. On the time it rate for everything he did for me, I was loyal. Got betrayed, it came a great disappointment. I thought we was under that law, but your nephew's an informant. Put the folks in my business, gotta set court appointments, gotta suit up with lawyers. Damn, this how we rockin'. They copyrighted my name and wanted $1 million. The label laughed in my face, I had to pay out my pocket. Young Money closed the door and ain't nobody want sign me. Travis Newman looked out, we in the park and we grindin'. If you want them wholesale, just pull up and we got it. Shout out to Miss Connie, my heart on Carolina. I put diamonds in the T.O.P. and all in the bottom. I ain't never change up, let's get that understood. I'm in that 70805, they don't show love in my hood. I ain't never change up, let's get that understood. I'm in that 70805, they don't show love in my hood. Watch your mouth, no dissing me. You know we all saw it. You say I'm fake, that's your opinion, that's just y'all story. Just face the fact I was y'all blessing, but y'all ignored it. Your quest for fame had you distorted, not accepting sorry. I'm really at the streets about
We are the Harris family.
Aloha everybody, I am back. It's Rebs. I came here because I have a channel message from Spirit, and this particular Spirit wanted me to share just a little bit of background of what was occurring in their life before they transitioned. And this is actually all of the messages are very important. This one I would say is more so personal and close, because she wants me to share a bit of the lifestyle and the things that she had going on in her life before she transitioned. And then I was led by Spirit and told to share particular intel about certain things that I went through that I can, as well attest to experiencing, what she is speaking about. So, just to jump right in. Okay. This Spirit, TT, she used to be a stripper, and what she wants to say is that people who are in those lifestyles of like being strippers and prostitutes and anything of that nature, and I'm reading my notes because I like to make sure I get exactly what Spirit says, and then I can come later and elaborate more and add more, but I like to get specifically what's being said. So she's saying no one just wants to be that way. It's due to like trauma. She says don't judge, and she told me to tell the people to stay out of the strip clubs and the strip clubs, and it said like pilers, but people may not know what pilers are. So basically it's just like whorehouses. Basically stay out of the strip clubs, stay out of the whorehouses. She says when you do that, it's just you're fueling and you're adding and aiding to the trauma of those individuals that are strippers and prostitutes and things like that. And you're basically fueling to their pain and insecurities and adding that low vibration to them. And she also said these are the white man ways. She said these ways were given to our people, the golden race, which is what people will call black, or actually golden. These are the ways that was given to us by the white man. And she says to give him back his ways. She said that whole, this is savage-like, this is crazy, this is animalistic. First of all, to even be a part of the lifestyle, but she's saying to be someone who's sitting in the audience, who's okay with watching women degrade themselves that way, completely naked, and you're throwing money and things at them, and in your brain and your thoughts, all you see them is as sex objects and things like that. She's saying that that's savage, crazy, like animalistic, which is their characteristics and their people and their ways and not ours. Those ways were impressed upon our people by our enemies, okay? So what she's saying is, that's another reason why their Spirit is saying that religion is so detrimental, because when they see someone in this lifestyle that's a stripper or a prostitute or whatever the case, Christianity and other religions teach, shun them, stay away from them, judge them, they're going to hell, you're going to get some kind of spirit on you, like all wrong and backwards. But what Spirit is saying is that when you're to meet someone like this, no, you cannot just go up to the girl and force her and say, hey, don't be a prostitute, hey, don't be a stripper. But if you're led to help that person, I'm not talking about no religious crap, just anybody in general, if you're led to talk to them, I was given this example about before I went into the lifestyle. I met this girl, and she was a stripper, and I met her because I was at the strip club. I was dragged out to the strip club. I hated going. So when I used to go back then, I used to just drink, take shots, or I would watch the basketball game because, you know, living in Hawaii, you get like the playback still will be on TV later on in the evening because of the time difference, the time zone being like 4 or 5 hours behind the mainland. So, you know, 12 o'clock at night or whatever, the basketball game's on. So I would catch the Bulls, and I would just be drinking and stuff. That's where I would go. And I saw her one day. They always bragged and talked about it, but like I said, I wasn't into that. So I saw her, and the day I saw her, I looked directly at her, and I could see that everyone else is all around giving money. They're excited. They're bragging about her. And I looked directly in her eyes. All I could see was her eyes. I seen pain, misery, sadness, annoyance. Like she did not want to be there. So we ended up like hanging out, spending time together. And, you know, she told me her testimony. I shared some things about my testimony. And I'm saying this because this is the part of the message that Spirit said that when you meet somebody like this, you're supposed to offer them help. And it says, show, teach, and guide them the way. Because she's saying, obviously, they don't have the proper guidance or healing or help. Because if they already had that, then they wouldn't be in this lifestyle in the first place. So basically what I did when I was hanging out with this girl was I encouraged her and I motivated her straight from the heart. I wasn't in any particular, you know, religion or anything like that. Just from me having a traumatic testimony and upbringing myself, I knew that it was trauma. So I said all the things to her that I would have been wanted said to me, but I genuinely, truly meant it and I felt it. So when she started hanging out with me, and just so there's no confusion, I'm not talking about the spirit that has passed on. The spirit that has passed on, let's just say her name is Titi, the one who gave me this message to give to everybody. But the individual that I helped back in 2011, let's just say her name is, I don't know, Sandra or something. That's who I'm speaking about right now. I'm speaking about the Sandra person that I helped get out of the lifestyle by simply just encouraging her, motivating her, and letting her know that there were other options. So when she would come around me, she could be herself. She can tell her testimony. She talked about her dreams, her passions, her goals. And she started to work a job outside of the strip club, a regular job where she worked around children and things like that. So what the Spirit is telling me to tell you guys, which I said Spirit's Titi, what she's saying is, when you see somebody in that lifestyle, and it's especially a message for religious people because they fear the unknown. Since they have no idea, no testimony, no anything to go off of, they automatically fear and run the other way. Instead, people who are not in religion and actually have a testimony and actually can feel and see things, we can see, oh, this individual is hurt, this individual is in pain, and we actually take the time to address that individual as an individual. See, religion teaches you to just rush in on them and say, if you don't believe in what I believe in, if you don't believe in JC, then boom, you're just going to hell, which is ridiculous. Because what people don't understand is when you're in this lifestyle in the first place, it's because you already are in a form of hell. And let me explain that. Because when it comes to me sharing my testimony, I was told not to bring any notes, write anything down, speak from the heart. So I used to be in the lifestyle of prostitution myself, and always was heading into the lifestyle of stripping, and always ran side by side with strippers, drug dealers, and prostitutes since I was the age of, well, the drug dealing thing goes further back. I could have been around maybe 12, 13. But when it comes to like the strippers and pimps and things like that, I started hanging around them when I was 15. So I had already knew a lot about the game from when I was like 15, going to the strip clubs, going to the after parties, you know, bumping shoulders with the strippers and hanging out with them, and same thing with the prostitutes back then. But I wasn't in the lifestyle. I just was around the lifestyle. I was hanging out with the type of people, and I didn't get into the lifestyle till years later due to, circumstances. Same thing like TT was saying. A lot of trauma. Back was against the wall. I have a full testimony of this already on my page, and it explains in depth of how I got into the lifestyle. And it might explain how I got out or whatever as well, so I'm not going to make this video completely about that. But what I can piggyback off of the spirit TT and say is that, yes, no woman, I don't know every woman, but no woman that I've ever sat down with or spent time with or heard their story or heard their testimony when I was in that lifestyle, none of them, the ones I was with, I've never heard them say, this is fun, this is glamorous, I'm doing this for fun, I love this is my life, this is my career. Most of them, majority of them, everyone I've sat down and spoke with, it's been trauma and pain. Okay, for instance, some of the girls that I've sat with, including myself, a lot of our similar stories, when we were children, we were raped as children, or we were molested as children, or molested and raped. Some of the women had been in foster care. Some of the women grew up, instead of growing up with their mother or father, they grew up with like their grandparents or something, or in the foster system, or another family member. A lot of them had come from abusive relationships or homes. I had come from abusive relationships, being physically beaten and mentally and emotionally abused and things like that. So some of the commonalities I saw was, low self-esteem. And what people don't understand is sexual traumas. You don't even have to, I'm not even just talking about rapes as a child, because a lot of us, myself included, with the women I spent time with, we were raped also in our teen and adult lives as well. So at the end of the day, it still all boils down to trauma. Because what people got to realize is those who actually were, raised in these, whether it was a two-parent home or whether it was a one-parent home, but those, regardless, who were raised with that structure, like I said, whether you had two parents or one, you had that structure and you had that love and you had that support, saying how beautiful you were, teaching you to stay away from certain guys and girls and certain crowds and certain environments, then you'd already have those tools and instilled in you. And that's why TT wanted me to share that no one who just had this great upbringing, great life, no pain, no trauma, no one just chooses to, just live in this lifestyle just because. Now, don't get me wrong, you will have your agents, and what I mean by agents are, those are the ones that work for the enemy. So you will have them that are placed into these certain places, that are placed as your strippers, placed as your prostitutes, placed as your drug dealers, to do their job, to recruit people to come into that lifestyle. So a lot of them, their stories will be fake, or you won't hear their stories, or they'll pretend they love this lifestyle, or pretend that it's glamorous, that it's amazing, that it's just $1 billion, whatever. And those are usually your agents, your pretenders, your actors, those that are part of the program, or part of the matrix, to try to draw you into it, and to try to, if you're not in yet, to draw you in, or to keep you in, or whatever, so that you have no desire or way of wanting to get out, or knowing that there's another option, there's another way. So the main message is, this is something that's very important to get out, even to women, because I've had a woman who contacted me maybe 2 years ago after watching my testimony of getting out of the life of prostitution. And instead of her learning the lessons of, dang, that's dangerous, glad you made it out, glad you're okay. I know you know people who didn't make it out. I know you know people who are still in there right now. There's been people who's been kidnapped. There's people who's been killed. So instead of saying, I'm glad you made it out, this individual, I guess she felt her life was too boring, and she proceeded to ask me questions of how to get into the lifestyle, because she wanted to become a sugar baby. So it's really important. What Spirit wants me to tell you is, don't let these TV shows and these things like this hype you up and get you messed up in a situation that you don't know nothing about. Because this girl that was coming to me, asking me these questions, let's just say her name is Sarah. Sarah told me that she has no problems. Her parents pay for her rent. Her parents pay for her car note. She lives by herself. She has a great high-paying job. And the only reason why she wanted to do this lifestyle was because she felt like, oh, my parents is helping me. That's a great thing. You know, if you have parents that are able to establish their own empire, and also they have planned ahead of time to make sure they have enough to get their children started off in life, and let their children save their money up for a few years while they're helping pay their rent or pay their car note or pay their first car off or pay their first house off, that is a beautiful thing. You see what I mean? But it's like media, TV has these people confused to think you have everything set up for you. Your college, you went to college, you know. You have a great job, you have a home, you have stability, and you want to let all that go to go live under a man's household and become his sex slave and get a little bit of coins here and there. See the confusion and the warped mindset? So I see why it's important that she wanted me to get this out and to share this, because it's not even just, you also have the women that's watching people on these social media sites and thinking this is great, this is glamorous, and they're giving up their real careers and schooling because they're trying to follow somebody who's trying to find themselves and get themselves out of the same situation that they're stuck in. So I advise you guys to be yourself and don't try to be nothing that you're not, you know. So yeah, that's the message. Basically, you know, you have to basically, hold on. So yeah, the gist of what I'm saying, the major thing of what I'm saying, if nothing else, is that is not the lifestyle you want. There's nothing glamorous and great about it. People are getting killed, raped, kidnapped, diseases, all of that. But even without these physical things, you doing these things are ruining your soul. So when people are doing things like, you know, prostitution and things like that, you're ruining your soul, because anytime you have intercourse with somebody, you're tying on their spirits and souls with you. So people are scared about STDs, but you're dragging on all these stranger spirits onto you. And also, even when you're a stripper, you may feel like, okay, well, I'm not touching them. Okay, same thing, because this man is memorizing or mesmerizing, you know, wanting to be with you, and you're coming into agreement with them because you're taking their money, you know, for this so-called entertainment that you're doing for them. So you're still coming into a spiritual agreement with them, regardless whether you know it or not. So I'm being told, again, like I said, to tell you guys to stay out of those strip clubs, because all you're doing is you're keeping the vibration lower on our people, which is the golden race. You're keeping them in slavery. You're keeping them in bondage. And a lot of them don't remember, because of they can't remember their past lives before coming back to this plane. But you're re-traumatizing them, because a lot of these women, or some of these women, could have been, you know, sex slaves and things like that, because, you know, in past life, like back in slavery times, and master making them do these things and all that. And then your own people are coming to re-traumatize you by throwing money on you and degrading you. How has our people gotten so low that they can't even look in there and see that as, dang, that's my sister? You know, I should be uplifting her. I should see what's wrong with her. I should see what's making her hate herself so much that she would be, you know, come out here, whether she had to get drugged up first, drunk first, switch into an altar, whatever. What has gotten her in so much pain that she's willing to come on here completely naked or half naked, whatever y'all want to call for some different places, and be okay with showing all the sacred, private, personal things that she has to every stranger in this room, and risking her life because you don't know who's gonna be waiting for her, who's gonna follow her home, who may end up raping her. What pain is she in so much to do this? Because you can't say money, because again, all of you girls that know nothing about these lifestyles, of course on the movies they're gonna show you all this money. Of course on the media they're gonna show you the main celebrity strip clubs. But I'm talking about your regular, small, everyday neighborhood, hole-in-the-wall clubs. People not making no money for real. And I'm speaking from experience. Ain't nobody making no money in there. It's enough money most of the time just to be able to pay for what you need that day. Whether it be food that day, whether it be gas that day, whether it be a hotel room that day, or you paying somebody to stay with them that day. So people say it's fast money, but as fast as that money comes, as fast as that money goes. But you're risking your life, though, for this fast money. So it's not worth it at all. And ultimately what happened to the spirit TT that's channeling is she was murdered. So this is not the lifestyle it's not a desirable lifestyle. And she's reminding me to tell you, and don't forget, she has a small son. So she got murdered and left a small son behind because the enemy's tricking her to think this is what you need to do, or this is the lifestyle, this is the route you need to take. In all actuality, it's not. You know? And this is only going to work as a collective. As a collective, if our golden men, is what people call black, can sit back and say, I shouldn't be doing this. I watch slave movies all the time, and I see so-called white man massa, him sitting there while these women and men are naked on the chopping block, and he's examining them, talking about who he wants to work as one of his slaves back at his ranch, or who he wants to be his sex slave, or how they had that woman back in the day. I don't know. I'm not sure of her name off top. And they displayed, well, not just her, they were displaying them in museums, the golden women, because of their bodies and because of their shape. How humiliating do you think that they had to be? Humiliated. Standing there nude in front of a bunch of horny men, catcalling at them, saying nasty things, throwing advances towards them, and they're sitting there completely naked, completely vulnerable, and completely terrified because they know after this viewing and looking and catcalling is over, 10 times out of 10, they're going to be raped. So not only were they humiliated by everybody walking past them, looking at them nude, then they have to be tortured and raped because now these men are horny and drunk, and now they actually want to, quote unquote, sample the product. So I don't care how much these men say, oh, she wants to be a stripper or she wouldn't be here. Or, oh, she wants to be a prostitute or she wouldn't be here. That's not so. So why don't you do your part and stay out of these establishments? Why don't you do your part, black man and black woman, or golden man and black golden woman? Why don't you talk to them? Why don't you motivate them? Why don't you encourage them? Why don't you guide them? Why don't you show them another way? Because as the golden race, we're all family. We're all one. So how would you feel if that was your sister in there, or that was your mother in there, or that was your auntie in there, or that was your favorite teacher in there? It's not funny. It's degrading, and it's sick. And men, why don't you work on your trauma to see what you're going through, that you have to go watch a naked woman, and then after that, pay for sex from this woman or from someone else, or either go home and have sex with someone else, or that you're masturbating with yourself? What trauma are you going through that you feel like you have to go watch naked women? What are you going through? Because that's not normal. Really sit back and think about what I'm saying. It's completely degrading to just sit in a chair and watch naked women, and even more degrading, you're throwing money on them like they're shit. They're a piece of trash to you. They're crap. You're just throwing money on them. That dirty ass money that go through everybody's hand all day. You just throwing it on them, smacking it with them, all kind of craziness. And everybody knows what goes on who's been in the strip club. If not, Google it, watch a movie, or do something. How they talk to strippers and how they talk to prostitutes and different things like that. All these sex industries, all this stuff. And I'm talking about our people. I'm not speaking for nobody else. The golden people. How degrading is that? You're adding to their trauma. You're keeping them traumatized. You're teaching them that, yeah, you're not worth shit. All you are worth is your sex. All you are worth is your dancing. But other than that, you're not shit. So you are part of the problem. Man and woman that's going to the strip club. Man and woman that's aiding in their trauma. I just want you to know that you also will be judged, because in a sense it's seeing a victim and you're agreeing to continue to victimize this individual. So for those who didn't know or never had this perspective or never thought about it this way, you need to really think about it, because our people need to be seeking healing and reversing those traumas, not adding it to them. So I wanted to say that. And another thing that I was told to say was, my husband and I received a channel message from this couple, like big celebrity, big time, I guess you can kind of say back in the day, rappers, but let's just say big influencers, okay? And basically the message that he wanted me to share, they kind of had, that message was pretty much intertwined. So what they wanted me to share was that basically stop believing everything you see on TV. They wanted to admit that what they were doing they were doing a role. They were actors, basically. So what they want to apologize and say sorry for to the masses, to the people, to everybody, is that they know that they led people astray. They said with that talking that gangster, kill, fuck everybody, kill your brother. When I say your brother, I'm talking about the melanated race. So basically, they're sorry for promoting that. They're sorry for promoting to kill one another, telling you got to be these hard, tough gangsters and all that. They want to apologize for that because they were acting roles. And what they mean by they were acting roles is they really had good lives. They really had food. They really had clothes. They really had shelter. They really had stability. And they're basically apologizing because they're saying that they played on people like me who really did have bad testimonies, and others who really did have bad upbringings and bad lifestyles. They preyed on the things that we actually went through. Hold on, I'll be there in a minute. So yeah, where was I at? Basically what I was saying is, these popular rappers that connected through spirit, they're basically saying that they preyed on the pain of those who really had pain, those who really had trauma, those who really had broken homes, those who really didn't have food, didn't have a means of survival, those who really did get into the gang life for protection, those women who really did get into, prostitution and those lifestyles, for protection and just different things like that. They're saying they basically preyed on those things. So they took all that drama, all that testimony, and they put it into their music, put it into their songs, got famous off of it, because they're saying that that's what sells. In this society, in this matrix, what sells is negativity, What sells is drama. What sells is pain. What sells is louche. Wickedness, basically. So they're saying that they wish they could have done more in terms of helping the community, uplifting the community, teaching them to be on the right tracks and go on the right way. But instead, they went with the program, which is what is our enemy, is the white man and their ancestors. That goes with them because their programming is to destroy us, destroy our people, destroy the golden race. So these big famous golden rappers that communicate in the spirit and have moved on from their roles, they're basically saying, don't believe what you see on TV, don't believe what you see on media, be yourself, because media will have y'all here committing crimes, committing murders and doing things like that, and you'll be sitting in jail. And your favorite rappers or actors, exactly what they are, they're just actors. Your favorite actors are free and living their life because these people I'm speaking of particular, they just took on a role. A role is just acting. You act, you do your job, you do your part, you go home, your role is over. So I hope, if nothing else, you learn from the message to be yourself. And when you see somebody that really does have trauma, really does have problems, really does have a tough situation, talk to them, help them, try to lead them, try to guide them, give them options, give them way out. Don't force them. If you've never been the lifestyle, you've never had walked into their shoes, don't pretend you have. Don't come talk about no self-help book. Don't come talking about nothing you've seen on TV. If you don't have the real life experience, back away. If they ask you for help, do your best or refer them to somebody who can help. But don't step into places that you don't even yourself understand what you're stepping into, because a lot of times those people is the reason why they're so judgmental, because they don't even know what they're trying to put their hands on and they have no idea. So before I close out, I'm going to say that I'll link my website below. I'm versed in all of these areas. On my website, it shows everything that I have personally been through, not read in a book, not called a friend, not heard nobody else say. It shows what I've personally been through. My testimony is also here on my YouTube, and like I said, on my website, it goes into details and depths for everything I'm versed in. So if you want to, have a reading, a session with me, anything that you may be going through that you need to talk about, you can feel free to. If any of your ancestors or spirit team or anyone decides to step up during our session, that will be allowed. The message will be shared and delivered directly to you. So yeah, my information will be below. On the website is all my times, all the prices and everything else. And whoever this message is for, I hope it resides with them. And on that note, I'm going to say aloha, paz, peace, shalom, assalamu alaikum, and ashe.